And sa video na to, pag-usapan natin yung latest update related sa travel ban dito sa Japan. Ano na ba ang nangyari nitong nagdaang mga araw ngayong nagbukas na ang border ng Japan para sa mga turistang gustong magbiyahe papunta dito sa Japan. Basahin natin ang article mula sa Kyodo News. Travel firms thrown in confusion as Japan reopens to foreign tourists. Hi guys, this is Alan. Welcome back to this channel, Gaijin World. As Japan resumed visa procedures to accept foreign tourists last week, travel companies have been thrown into confusion over the lack of communication regarding entry procedures and last-minute COVID-19 guidelines. So sa mga nagdaang araw, nalaman natin yung mga guidelines na inilabas ng MHLW or yung Ministry Health, Labor and Welfare para sa mga turistang pupunta dito sa Japan. The government's sudden moves have generated discontent among many in the travel industry, with some domestic companies pulling out of operating tours inbound tourists amid the prolonged coronavirus pandemic. Prime Minister Fumio Kishida announced on May 26 that Japan would reopen to foreign tourists from last Friday, initially limiting eligible tourism arrivals to guided tours from 98 countries and regions deemed to have the lowest risk of infection. The announcement triggered a flurry of inquiries from both domestic and overseas travel agencies. So nagkaroon ng confusion sa mga travel agencies dahil sa hindi malinaw na criteria kung paano ba makakapasok yung mga turista dito, dahil merong regulations before na may mga visa-free countries sa mga iba't ibang bansa. Okay? So ngayong nagkaroon ng pandemic, hindi malinaw kung magte-take effect pa rin ba yung visa-free travel sa ibang mga bansa na kabilang dito. So ito na nga yun, no? Overseas agencies had been looking for tour participants on a spur of the moment basis, so they were confused after discovering visas would be required. Kasi nga may mga bansa before na pwedeng makapasok dito nang hindi na kailangan ng visa. Okay, visa free. Pero meron din syempre katulad ng Philippines na kailangan ng visa para makapasok dito. So sabi diyan ay nagkaroon ng confusion nga pagdating dun sa mga bansa na nasabi dahil nag-a-apply pala ang visa sa ngayon. Sabi diyan no manager of a Japanese company supporting inbound tourism. Before the pandemic, Japan offered visa-free travel for tourists from 68 countries and regions, including the United States, South Korea, Thailand, and Malaysia. Both border restrictions due to COVID-19 mean currently everyone needs a visa, according to the Foreign Ministry. Many overseas travel agencies were also unaware that in order to apply for a visa, they first needed to input the traveler's details into Japan's health ministry system, which did not begin operating until midnight Thursday. So yung sinasabi nila ditong Japan's health ministry system, ito yung ERFS system na kung saan pati yung mga travel agencies ay magiging accepting organization dito pagdating dito sa Japan, ay kailangan nilang mag-enter ng ERFS sa bawat isang turista na papasok dito. So sila yung gaya nga na nasabi ko before, yung ina-assume ko ay tama nga na ang mga agencies ang magpo-provide ng ERFS para dun sa mag-a-avail ng tourist. Ayan na nga. So nagkaroon ng confusion sa part ng mga agency. A South Korean travel agency said it hopes of organizing tours to Japan this month were dashed due to the procedure, with July now the earliest it can run a tour. So ibig sabihin, kahit na nagbukas na nitong June 10 ang border ng Japan para sa mga turista, dahil nga sa mga pabago-bago or sa mga biglaang changes or guidelines na inilabas ng Japan Ministry, ay malamang sa July pa talaga makakapag-consolidate ng mga turista ang mga agency papunta dito sa Japan. Contacting the Japanese embassy in Seoul also proved fruitless, it said. Under the guidelines released by the Japan Tourism Agency last Tuesday, foreign tourists are asked to wear face masks and take out insurance to cover medical expenses in the event they contract COVID-19. So yan ay na-report natin sa mga nakaraang video ko na required ang pagsusot ng face mask habang nagtutur ka dito at bumili ng travel insurance. Upon sales or reservation of tours, travel agencies will need to gain the consent of tour participants to comply with the measures by explaining that they otherwise may not be able to take a part. So kailangan nilang mag-comply itong mga magbigay sila sila ng waiver or ng kasulatan, ng pledge na magko-comply itong mga turistang mag-a-avail ng package tour papunta dito. During the tour itself, the agencies will also keep records of the participants' movements, including places they visited and where they sat on public transportation. So lahat yan ay itatrack, saan ka nakaupo, saan ka dadalhin, ano yung itinerary, ay itatrack ng travel agency na magiging accepting organization nung turista. We have to explain the guidelines to visitors of Japan to prevent problems from occurring, said a representative of major Japanese travel agency JTB Corp. TAS Corporation, a Tokyo-based company that predominantly organizes tours to Japan for Southeast Asians, said it was translating the tourist agency guidelines into local languages to promptly communicate them to prospective travelers. Although what we can do at present is limited, we have received many inquiries and interest in traveling to Japan is high, as staff of the company said. But for small and medium-sized tour operators, the slump in business has proven tough and many have decided to pull out of running tours for foreign tourists to Japan or suspend operation. Among these are Western Japan Agency that had organized many tours for Muslims and a Tokyo-based operator that helped Chinese tourists visit Japan. Kishida has stated that Japan is aiming to gradually accept the same number of visitors as pre-pandemic times, but easing border restrictions while rebuilding the country's hospitality industry will prove to be a challenging task. So, dahil nga sa medyo hindi magandang economy ng Japan ngayon, ito na ang nakikita nilang solusyon para maibsan o makatulong sa pagganda uli, paglago ng ekonomiya ng Japan ay ang pagbubukas nila ng kanilang border para sa mga turista. Although medyo challenging nga para sa part din nila pala itong kahit na gaano pa kahigpit itong ginagawa nilang measurement para sa mga papasok dito ay hindi pa rin pala talaga ganun kalinaw din. Hindi masyadong naibigay ng maayos yung information sa iba't ibang mga bansa kung paano makakapasok yung mga turista dito. At sa ibang balita naman, visa issuance to foreigners, ayan, itinranslate natin. Tinranslate natin to dahil ito ay Japanese. Galing ito sa NHK. Visa issuance to foreigners visiting Japan last year was about 1% of the lowest peak ever. So, pinakamababang visitor daw or tourist visit dito sa Japan was last year. According dito, last year, the number of visas issued to foreigners visiting Japan dropped to about 90,000, which is about 1% of the due to immigration restrictions due to the border measures of the new corona, which is the lowest ever. According to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the number of visas issued by diplomatic missions abroad to foreigners visiting Japan last year was about 90,000. This is about 1% compared to the 8.27 million visa issued in the first year of Reiwa 3 years ago, when the number of visas issued to foreigners and is the lowest since 1999 when statistics began to be released. Since then, the new corona's border measures have been strengthened and the immigration restrictions for foreigners have continued to have a major impact. Most of the approximately 90,000 visas issued last year were for foreign technical intern trainees and those who need humanitarian consideration. By the nationality, Vietnam had the largest number of visas of approximately 15,000, followed by China of approximately 1. There are 2,000 cases and so on. The government has been gradually easing border measures since March and will continue to prevent the spread of infection while steadily increasing the number of immigrants. Ayan guys. So ayan guys, nagustuhan nyo ba ang video na to? Kung nagustuhan nyo, please like this video at mag-comment na din kayo. I-share nyo na rin to sa mga nag-aabang ng travel ban news dito sa Japan at huwag nyo kalimutang mag-subscribe kung hindi ka pa nakasubscribe at i-hit yung notification bell para lagi kang updated sa aming mga susunod pang i-upload na mga videos. Maraming salamat sa patuloy na panonood kung ikaw ay nakasubscribe na rin at huwag nyo kalimutang i-like, i-share and ayan nga, mag-comment down below kung meron kayong mga gustong, may mga opinion kayo or ano yung masasabi nyo related sa news na ito. At huwag nyo kalimutang i-check yung aming YouTube homepage, puntahan nyo yung playlist. Then marami kaming playlist dyan na makakatulong sa inyong pamumuhay pagdating ninyo dito sa Japan. Okay, so meron kami iba't ibang playlist dyan, katulad ng investing dito sa Japan, or kahit nasa Philippines ka, nagwagawa ko ng call financial, stock market videos. At meron din syempre kami mga driving exam videos dyan na baka makatulong sa inyong pagkuha ng driver's license dito sa Japan. Okay, maraming salamat ulit sa panonood. This is Alan and I will see you on our next video. Bye! Huwag niyong kalimutang i-check yung videos na lalabas dito sa screen.